Welcome to this free service day. As every Friday that we do, I will be happy for you to join me and request healing or reading, whatever you need. This is a part of the free services that we have here in Encoded Frequency. And this last week we come back with a live meditation. So let us know if you would like to have services like that daily in your feed, and if you would like to, please support, like, and share for social media. Now that we have new rules to what it is in the feed, can have pages like the one we have and many others that you like. Go and like and share whatever content. I know there are different branches in spirituality, and we don't always resonate with everyone. So from whom you will resonate and would like to support is a great way to assess. Thank you for being here. I have a theme today because there are quite a few changes energetically, and I will give you guys a few minutes to know that I'm alive. Let me know if you were notified or do just because I'm learning with the new social media rules, how to work with it. I appreciate that you are here, and let me know how are you doing. I've been feeling very drawn to be in my bed and doing less stuff. And please type your questions, your requests, and if you give me a few minutes, I will do my best to share whatever I know or whatever comes through. So I would like to ask the higher self of everyone who is drawn to this video, please become one with my higher self. I would love to put Gretel aside so I can be a clear channel for unconditional love and pure source consciousness, and whatever that needs to be shared and comes through can come through only aligned with ease and grace and with the highest outcome of all. Let me see if I can see your questions here. Please guys give me a minute. Let me just do a little bit of light language just to bring whatever we need, set your intentions. And I wanted to give during this video, if you stay with me, if you have time, or you want to watch it later, that's fine, a few tips about how we can overcome the energetic changes that are going through, what I am doing for myself and what my students from the Wayshare class were doing. And I would like to share a little bit of what energetically I feel what's going on, and then after a few minutes to answer all of your questions or requests for a reading or healing. I will love to do that for whoever arises. So let me just breathe, and I think this is just a love frequency, not defined for a race or anything. May just be like healing from fifth dimension, like love frequency. I think this is what we have like going on already, so I will just let them come through. Vavate esakore kiara korovata asaki iti eshna va asakoro va ataki iki aratara zoro va varatara ashni edova sakoto va asati iki ashna. Bring into your heart if you would like to receive it. And oh, that was good. It was good, like to adjust. Look, I'm not like an expert of astrology. I kind of know a little bit because I study galactic astrology to do the starseed drawings that I have been doing for a while. And it kind of confirmed what comes through the drawing and my intuition in a more precise, it's kind of like clues we live in astrology. So Any corrections you guys feel drawn to comment, I'm fine with it. I'm happy because I kind of understand astrology in my own not linear way. But if you know better, would like to share your points on it, I'm happy about it. So what is happening today? The moon is conjuncting Mars, and Taurus is going to feel ready to sink into Gemini for this next 4 days, and then before the new moon that we're gonna have, I think the 27, and Virgo, we're gonna have Lilith that comes to make her effect in all of us. And there are few things that are arising. For me, I have been feeling so relaxed. I kind of don't want to do anything. And it's raining where I live. I live in the Mexico part of what Sedona will be in US. Is the same desert. In my side, there is a part that it's one of the kind of like the 7 marvelous things from the world. That is a great, I never know how to pronounce that, crater. It's like a hole from a stone that came from the stars, right? So people get abducted there. There are lots of UFO activities. This is like 2.5 hours from where I live. It's a lot of magnetic interference. That's why I always burn my microphone, my things, because there is a lot of ET thing that happens in this area. Then if I close the border, that is like 3 hours driving from where I live, I go to Arizona in US, right? Yes, I know how to write. It's the pronunciation is hard for me. Race. Look, I live in Mexico, but I always grew up. When I learned how to speak, I was in Venezuela. So in South America, there are some vocals and letters people just skip. Like Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, they will miss some vocals that they are just like mutated in comparison to Mexican ones, right? So I learned to speak Spanish in Venezuela, and they speak skipping few vocals that Mexican will do. So Mexicans will have better pronunciation, like someone who speaks Spanish from Spain will have a more correct pronunciation. So I realized, thank you for those stars, I appreciate that. Sometimes I have to re-educate myself into how to pronounce things. And it's part of the, I don't know, being human, which is kind of fun. It's kind of my magic. I want to think that's sexy in my personality, right? So, okay, this is what's going on. This moon is always about action. Sometimes it's a cycle that ends, sometimes it's a cycle that begins. I remember that my grandma will know when it was going to be the due date of whoever pregnant by watching the moon, right? She would say, oh, the baby is going to born that day. And then according to that date, she will predict if the baby was going to be male or female. Back then we didn't have scans according to the moon phase. And I was like, oh my God, she was really connected, right? She knew when it was going to be a storm, because she would kind of like lick her finger and said, okay, the wine is in the north, and then the sun, and then the beer started singing today, so I think we'll have a storm, Gretel. I think we should just go in. And this is something that we kind of have lost, I think, at least of where I am, because we're very connected to smartphones and apps and things, and people telling us how things are going to be instead of connecting with them. This is a trend right now. And this is part of the teams. And if you guys want to request a reading or a healing, I'm going to be here in a few minutes, like 5 or 7 minutes. So my grandma, she's with me all the time. She was a Leo, so she's like a lioness, but in her earth essence, she was Lemurian, right? So I have that earthy thing from her, that I remember that she will, your herbs to cure us, and sometimes I'll have ache in my belly, and then she would say, you just need chocolate cake, let's just make some chocolate cake, and I would just forget about my ache, things like that, because it was all about love. If you guys remember Lemuria, it was the timeline of exploring love. I remember that in my Lemuria essence, we didn't have names chosen by my parents. They would wait until I could speak and tell what name I wanted, what sexual gender I would prefer, what profession I wanted. It was all about freedom and love, and we barely speak because telepathic communication was so powerful. We were connected to everything, the air, the trees, the sun, every people, your heart, your liver, right? It was like, oh, my kidneys are weird, let me go check within. I'm alright. And in comparison to Atlantis, that it was knowledge and power, all that I know, all that I can do, all that I can assess, all that I have been, is this contrast. I don't have in my Akashic records the Lemuria of the fallen of Lemuria, so I haven't had that in a session either. I haven't explored that, but I'm sure they had its own faults. That I was in the rising of Lemuria, and I do have many Atlantis. I do have the rising, and I do have the fall. Whatever trends you guys are seeing collectively, it reminds me a lot of Atlantis. The control, restriction, the dark agendas, conspiracy, high-tech, nanotechnology, vaccines, whatever, wherever, mutation of your biology, breeding things, plants with animals, technology with human biology, things like that. It was very, very Atlantis. Maybe one day I can channel to see what happened in my Atlantis. Thank you, appreciate so much. And leave your comments. I'm gonna go like in 5 minutes into those. So what again into this cosmic conjunction is doing? Okay, so Mars is action. It's like what I want to do, what I want to see, what I want to feel. It's kind of like the warrior, right? I'm gonna fight for my rights, my truth, what I want, the food that it's missing, the jobs that I want, the social media that I want. But then in that influence with Gemini, that is unexpected. I mean, my mom is a Gemini. I will never know how she will react. I remember when I was little, I thought she was gonna be upset at me because I was trouble in school. I have to be honest. And she sometimes it would say something like, that is no problem, Gretel, just let it go. And I was just like, oh, she didn't ground me. So she was completely unexpected, right? I never knew how she will react. So this is what we will expect collectively. Things out of the blue. Sometimes things that trigger us from someone, from a karmic partner, from the collective. These unexpected things that it appears as if the world is in chaos. It is because everything is moving, guys. No one really knows. Even we can predict. I have seen a lot of things of the future, but I still have no idea what future I will have, because I'm choosing that in every second, and so each of you, right? So then, this unexpected stuff, it makes us feel as if life isn't easy, and then we see lots of memes. This is what spirituality should be, but this is what really is. Right? It isn't like that. It shouldn't be. We wake up because you want life easy, right? You want to know things. You want to predict what will happen. You want to see what's going on. You want to be in charge, and then you want to embrace life in the best way you can. So, all of those things started coming, and then Lily come that may come with things about sexuality or abuse or control or darkness that maybe we have been wounded in, maybe not now, but maybe when I was a child, maybe in another life, maybe not me, but maybe my family or maybe my friends. So all of those things, it appears as if the world is going wrong, caboose, bananas. But in reality, we are in a deep transformation. Like me, that I see my bed and I see, okay, should I do another drawing? Oh no, I'm gonna sleep. And then I'm like, right? Because my body is asking for it. And I want to push it like, oh, maybe I should do. And then I said like, never mind. I would just be lazy. Because I feel like my body is changing. So go with what feels right for you. Listen to your uneasiness. Whatever feels like, oh, I want to do this. Like for me, I'm a very active person. And I'm always doing stuff. But right now, I'm like, oh, I just want to do nothing. And then a part of me says, but we have to do things. And then another part of me says, just go with the flow, Gretel. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. Right? So, what we can do in preparation into this moon in Virgo that is going to be the 27th, that as a Virgo can be the pain on the ass of any other signs, because it tends to be perfectionist or ruler or organizer in the negative way, but in the positive way is going to lead you to purify yourself, is going to lead you to be better, to see what you can prioritize and let go and stop doing in all of those ways that we sabotage our journey. So, what my guys said to me, I was like, in the morning, and with this, in a minute, I'm gonna close and I'm gonna go into all of your questions that you have for you guys, and then healing, we can go about that. Before I leave, I always ask, okay, Hersa, before I leave bed, is it anything that I need to know today? And then I kind of wait for something, right? And then it was kind of like the sensation that today be you. And then I was like, And then it was like fear, it is saying you're a keeper. You are the keeper of fear. So let fear go away and make love greater. And then I saw myself kind of in a burning, in Spanish it would say fogata, that in English it would be kind of like fireplace thing in outdoors, and I was like me and my shadow, and we were like in the right. And then when I heard that let fear go away, you are keeping your fear with you, I saw that my shadow leave, and then I opened my eyes. So this is what this time is about. It's about discerning between if your thought is fearful, right? That we said, okay, Grace are abducting the acts of women to make new child, and that's freaking scary. Yes, it is. Then we could say, okay, is that thought from love or from fear? That's about discernment. But ask yourself, what is the most greatest fear I have right now? Just do this scenario with me for a minute and then ask, is that fear come from love or come from ego? Right? And just stay there. And let's be brave and honest and talk to our fears. The second question it will be, whom told you that? It was just seed from you forever, or you hear it in some part, some YouTube video that your mom told you that, and at school you hear it, you read it some part. Where does that come from? Did you create it, or it was copied from someone else? And let's sing with the information just a little bit. And then the second question will be, Okay, if I'm afraid of whatever you are afraid the most, what if everyone in the world will think the same way I think right now? Just imagine that. Would that be the highest outcome for the world? Well, I wanted to multiply that because fears get multiplied the same way as love and peace and calm. And then you'll have your answers. No one needs to tell you what to believe. We could discern by going within and then listen to our own thinking and feel our own feeling and then figure out what will be the highest outcome for me to do right now. If this is my fear and maybe isn't coming from love and maybe I didn't invent it. It was given to me. It was programmed for society. And if that is no good, that all the world will think the same, will it be a good idea that I keep having it as a keeper of that fear? Or would it be a good idea that I just let it go and said, look, I just realized that you and I, this is not going to work. It's not about you. It's about me. So I think we should get a divorce and I will let you go. I hope you are happy whatever you are going to be transmuted, but I no longer need you because I choose to have a different mindset, that it isn't a keeper of my fears, it's a keeper of what I want to create. So going back to this Virgo season that we are entering from Leo, that is a leader, a fighter, strong person, fierce, into Virgo that will represent being adaptable, being flexible in the positive way. It will go into easy. And at the same time, it will seek improvement and it will seek beauty in life. And it will seek that my day is better and better. And now the question will be, what I can do today to make my day better. And this is how we go into life sucks. I want to live here. I hate it. I'm so sensitive. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. Into I'm in charge of my own happiness and I'm going to be okay and all is good and I'm killing it, right? But it's all about right here. We all have those scary thoughts. I have them too. I'm sure Buddha have them. I'm sure Louis Hay had them, and every spiritual person we admire. That's why they become what they become, because they did not allow fears to let them paralyze. They went through them. They tried to do something. Do you guys think Gandhi wasn't scared or mad? Oh my God, my mind just said what? Well, many people that wanted a change in the world, I'm sure it was scary, like when people fight for gay rights or for African American persons of color rights, or right here in Mexico, it's about indigenous people. There are a lot of things that shouldn't happen in the world, but what I can do for my love keeper, not for my fear keeper. And there is a lot of things coming in the world, guys. This is just like keep things simply easy, because 23 it's coming with a huge change. But if we don't get our affairs in line, 2024 is gonna be a crack for many things. It's going to be a total change into a paradigm. I'm not sure exactly what exactly from all the different things I see it could be. And I think it is because we're still choosing that. So just for today, try to look something or do something that will inspire you or make you feel better or relax. meditate, go out, cool, make love if you have chance to make love with anyone. Go out or do more earth stuff or get to a healer if you need extra support, but don't let yourself to go down. Just rise up and try to make it work. This is what I do. I had depression and it sucks. It was like betraying myself. I wanted to do something, but then my emotions went to bananas, and then when I realized I was in the hole, right? I know what it feels like. It's horrible. The majority of my life I had depression, but I don't go there anymore. It's a door I never ever opened because I was in there and I didn't like it. So why am I gonna go there in the past? Oh no, I'm looking for what comes next. But most importantly, I'm looking for right now what I can do. So if you have any questions, if there is something that I can do for you, thank you for your support, for your stars, for sharing and healing. It's being shared in the whole video if you want to receive it. That if you would like an aura reading or anything, I'm happy to do that. And then at the end, we can do a little bit of light language. I'm in magenta mood today, and we have Lemuria. Yes, we have Lemuria. So at the end, we could do some Lemuria light language if you want. Let me see if I can go into your questions, and I appreciate the stars. Thank you so much. Okay, let me just bring herself in and ask it can speak to me so I can be a clear channel for unconditional love and pure source consciousness. And now I'm going to put a girl aside. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate. Share with me what's going on, what you feel. Binetta says that I feel like I need so much extra rest. Then rest. There are some points, even when people harvested, indigenous people. I remember that the indigenous people here, they harvested, well, right here they do cotton, right? But they needed to let or rest for 7 years before they could do something that they wanted to grow. Thank you so much. Let me see if I have any messages from whoever it's meant to come. Talar, thank you so much. And she's saying, I'm a little scared when I take a bath. I use Epsom salts to make some affirmations. How I am love, hell, etc. For a few days I've been hearing in my head that I am darkness, so I don't know if it's me, it's an entity inside. Look, this is something that could happen to anyone. I have been there. That is no lie. So let's use logic and common sense. If something is saying to you that you are darkness, let's practice. Is that coming from fear or from love? It's easy, right? It isn't coming from love because it's saying that you are darkness. It's kind of like a mean comment, right? If it's a mean comment, who told you that? What was something in your mind? Have you heard that before from someone that you know? Because sometimes entities could be patterns that we create because a family member or someone told us, you are not doing this right, you are dumb, how stupid you are, I should do it myself, just back off or whatever. And maybe it's being represented in a metaphoric way. So just go within if you're still here, and then realize in your mind in what memory or scenario you have heard that before, or something that make you feel the same. Because it's not about what the words coming through. It's about how they feel. Yes? And then, what if the whole world would think the same, that we're all darkness? we will all be in depression. So is that a highest outcome thing? No, it isn't. So the best way it is to say, well, you are in your bath. Imagine that there is light and that darkness is fade away. And you can even ask, what am I learning from you? How I can get rid of you? I want to get divorced. People before, they will tie together for the rest of your life until that tear us apart. But now you get divorced and then you find someone else. There is no need to have that in your personality, or do you think it is? Do you think it's truthful? No, it isn't. It's something that it comes from an energy that doesn't belong to you. But I think you need to learn the lesson. And I think the lesson is, okay, let me make sure it's coming from higher self. There's 3 things right here for you to learn. First of all, to discern from the thoughts that comes from your divinity, your soul, your spirit, and then the thoughts that come from the programming that it's the illusion. It isn't real. It isn't real. So if it's illusion, we just ignore it. Like, have you ever heard someone that says, the world is gonna end today? And you look at that person and look high and you just say like, not my world. And it will just ignore it, right? It's like going to a restaurant. You don't eat in all restaurant. You choose the one you want. And then when you go there, you don't sit and wait for food to come. You order it. So that's discernment. Discernment, it is looking at the menu and then said, I want this. And then take this off. And then bring my drink first. And then take this off. And then add this instead. And I want it as soon as possible because I'm hungry. So after discernment comes being in charge of your reality. And I think what you're learning it's kind of like an initiation of your mediumship. Entities, the majority that we get, they aren't real. They are just like viruses from your computer that you just get rid of them with one meditation. They are so less because they're connected to a God who created them. Maybe you, maybe someone that you know. And when they are no longer needed for the lesson that will make you a better person, they just fade away. But when we don't understand the lesson energetically and with our ego, they come in different way, in a different way. Have you ever known a person that it's always in the same thing? Like, I remember I had a friend and she always had lazy boyfriends. It will always leave from her like parasite. And she was an excellent human being, like good record, good money, hard worker, decent. And she always got all those parasites. So I remember she was always said, why do I always have boyfriends that aren't working? So I have to support them. Well, this is why, because the root of the cause we haven't identified, and then we keep having the same food instead of ordering different things. And I think this is the thing. With fear, it's not about rejecting it. It's about truly, organically knowing it isn't needed. And it is when we let them go. Because avoiding it just makes it stronger because we develop resistance. I have been there. And sometimes I go there too. I swear, I'm being honest. But then I take my time into whatever technique you know that you could do light language and let it go. You can use the water to clear yourself. You can meditate and clear yourself. You could put sage, crystal, rose pills, oils, incense, candle. There are many ways to do it. But if you still sit into the part that feels like I don't get it, or I don't have it, or I'm not safe, it will come in different ways. And this is kind of the initiation part into the beyond. Because in the beyond, we go inside of the illusion and then we see stuff. But it's like going to a restaurant. You will get whatever you order. You don't have to get everything, because then you will have like, oh, I want to throw up, but you just eat the whole menu. No, we just get one and maybe an appetizer and maybe a dessert and maybe a drink if you drink. But we choose what we want to do. And this is going back to yourself. It's a temporary thing. You have been there before, and sometimes bad things, when we went back into what happened to us and we realized that it was horrible by the past, it helped us to deal with what's going on. Okay? If you need anything, message me privately and I can assist you, but you got this. I know you got this because you're strong and we have talked about it, but anything, message me. But if you want me to, I can help you right now. And I think it's coming from childhood. I can take that away and I can install from you the definition from source, that you know how to deal with situations like that according to your wholeness, being full of love, and with your sovereignty as a person. And then message me privately if you want to, and then we could talk about it if you need anything else. And go on. If you're still here, it feels like right here that's being changed, and your guides are kind of like working on it. Your higher self. Okay, yes. So just place attention right here and like this part, and message me anything later, and I will try to be. Thank you, Vineta. I appreciate. I hope that was helpful. Let me see if anyone else have any question or any healing. And Navali is asking, could I use a healing in my collarbone right now, shoulder blade, still recovering from surgery? Yes. I think I would love to do light language. Please type your comments and questions again so I can go through. Sometimes in Facebook they just appear what the feed thinks relevant. So please type them again to see if I can get them through. Okay, Nova, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna use my own collarbone to stream unconditional love. And if you are still here, and everyone else that would like to have any healing on your throat and in your shoulders and in your jaw, just visualize a beautiful blue light and try to make a sense of expansion, like when you sneeze, kind of like, and then exhale. Let this light language to come as it's meant to be, for the highest good and highest outcome, and only receive from whoever it is needed with ease and grace. Vike takoso vakitaria sara koro babata te era arvara soro vari ti eshikara toro osa eki era ateri eki ashka ti eshata kakava kitaki asekaria va tarakatari kera karavara toro okoro osoro vavata riki eshna Iva aje asaguru vavata arakera shirokuru vavata yasari ki ashka. Feel like we're removing something. When light language comes like cut it. Feels like it's deconstructing maybe a pattern, the ones destroyed, the ones that cause the surgery or pain or discomfort. Kitatapate sakotakira katara korovavate ki ashkete arakosoro oba aki ete eki ashkete akiarakot orova ate aki ashkete esa aki akata akta kova aki ete ashkete akiara aki ashka. And I feel like what will helps it is getting connection with earth. I'm seeing like wood, like trees, like soil. That will help you to instantly help your body, your biology to reborn again. This is why it's painful. You are building new cells that come with a new programming. And it looks like purple right now, but it will keep being streamed for the rest of the transmission, so let me know if you felt any better. Casey, thank you all for being here. Are there any remaining archaeological sites from Lemuria that can still be explored? And there any in the Americas? Well, yes. Look, they're different. I think this is the Lemurians. Okay. Okay. There are different locations from where Lemuria was located on Earth timelines. Right now, Lemuria, it is in the etheric part that is aligned with the sentient Gaia. We greet all of you. We're the Lemurian Council of Light. And the part that is aligned with the Akashic records from the channeler, it was and the part that it's aligned with Hawaii and North. And back in that part, you guys have to realize that Earth was not divided. It was a whole continent, and after that, Earth moved in different directions. Another Akashic Records timeline, Lemuria, was placed in the part that is from Portugal going into the Mediterranean, and another ones that in the union that we explained, it will connect with South America. In another part, it was connected with what you know as Australia. It depends on the Akashic records, and it depends on the timeline, and it depends on how Earth separated back in that timeline, because there are some timelines where Lemuria and Atlantis did not collide, and in another ones it was Lemuria, and then after that it was Atlantis, and then after that it was the Egyptian rising, and it will depend on in which timeline you are connected with. But the one from the channeler is connected to the Hawaiian area. And with that, we greet proof of Lemuria. There are seated time capsules that were placed by the Atlanteans once. The Atlanteans once, knowing that in its own apocalyptic timeline, knowledge was going to be forbidden, they placed time capsules in different parts of Earth. And when humanity is ready to have the knowledge according to the alignment with love, and they won't use that knowledge into destruction, those archaeological proofs will be revealed. Some will be in the North Pole, those are in the South Pole, others are hidden in the oceans, others will be in one, and this will be as a chain effect that will happen in future timelines on Earth. However, this hasn't been a physical proof yet, because Earth, it is on the edge of that thin line where that information won't be used for your own destruction. And from what the Atlanteans say, archaeological proof of Lemurian and many other ancient races that you are not aware of that were destructed when the libraries of Alexandria burned, you will have access from. Earth had many cyclical apocalypses that in some collide together, and others are metaphorical. Many ascended masters, the ones that you know have never existed, but they energetically walk or represented a timeline. Many others, they walk through its own feet as a representation of what God will be in an avatar form, but it will depend on which pinpoint are you exploring from the vast knowledge of the Akashic records. There are a strong point in connection if you want to connect with Lemuria, the part that it is right now connected to the inner earth temples that when part of the Atlanteans went into earth when Atlantis was destroyed, they reconnect with Lemuria back then, and it was when part of that information was saved in a way that it could be uncovered for the same Lemurians in Atlantis. In the future, there are edge of fear. You could connect with Mount Shasta, and an easy way to connect it is through the temples that are in inner earth. Another easy way to connect it is connecting to Gaia, connecting to your forests, your mountains, your lakes, the oceans, connecting with the earth, the sun, all that it is. We see that humans right now are too brainy. You use and do a lot of things with your brain and mind and forgot to exercise what's going on right here in your own center. And when you do that, you will pass that pinpoint that it lead Atlantis and Lemuria into its own fall. And what we can see, it is in this timeline, this marker point, it's already passed, but you haven't been able to see the fluctuation of what you have worked for eons ago, and are in a gradual process that feels very accelerated to be seen and perceived and felt. And with that, we think it's enough for the message. We thank you all for being here, and thank you for accepting the message. Oh, that was intense. That was good. Thank you for doing that question. I don't know if the information was clear. When you channel from feeling to feeling. Isn't exactly word. Sometimes it is. It depends on how deep you go. But between my English and my light language and my Spanish, sometimes I crash. So hopefully you guys got whatever it was needed. Joanna, thank you for your support. You always share thanks in the page, so I'm grateful for you. It helps a lot for me because Encoded Frequency is my job and it's my life. I ask myself, okay, Gretel, if no one would see Encoded Frequency and no one would purchase anything or donate, would you still be doing it? And I said, oh yes, I will still doing it in weekends. But then I'll get a job in an office or in whatever place, maybe Uber or whatever, and then maybe I will do it less. Right? But I will still do it because it's kind of like, I don't know, my diary. So thank you for all the ones that you guys cooperate that I can be here, especially my students who are going through a lot all together. We are in the part of the project of our soul, and we are like beating our asses into every part that we want to transform. And I'm going with them. And they're teaching me a lot, and I'm grateful to be able to think I'm teaching, but in reality I'm learning to all of you guys. So for that I want to say thank you. And Joanna, yes, keep the love flowing. Okay. And it was like a happy expression. I don't know if you have like a twin flame connection or soulmate, I don't know, loving connection, but it felt like from a guy that maybe was soulmate or something that said keep the love flowing. Like, yes, it felt like from love. I hope that makes sense. Hannah, thank you for being here. I would love a mini reading if you are open, of course. Oh, okay. This is time for integration, for the higher knowledge of your soul. This is what you guys are saying. It's time to keep expanding the container between what you believe through the power of love. So everything that comes through you and runs will allow the old ways to fall and to reinvent, reset, realign, recalibrate, and reborn. It's a letter R-E. Okay. And then they kind of, I'm seeing your guys kind of like hugging you, and I'm going to use this metaphor. Look, this is, I think sometimes healers, we have the archetype of a little bit from the ego, that I can heal you, I know how to do a lot of things, I speak with Arcturians, I was a friend of Mary Magdalene, kind of like that. But for me, it isn't like that. No one heals anything. I think you just harmonize the place so the person chooses to heal by itself. Because healing comes from an equal to an equal. Love comes from an equal to an equal. Teacher only teach if knows it's learning something, right? And this is how harmony could be. So this is what I'm seeing. Healing is kind of like that. So this is maybe our light. So it comes and goes because there are a lot of things, and sometimes we feel like bouncing, like, oh my God, it's going to fade away. And then we got scared, and then we feel like we are in darkness because we are not seeing. If we are in darkness, we don't see the light, we just see what surrounds it, right? And then we think it's off because we're not seeing that we're glowing. But when you heal, or when you are in the path of service, like I do, and like many of you, or all of you, I will say, in your own way, as a mom, as a friend, as a father, as a co-worker, as a person, then what happens, it's kind of like that. Going through have a healing, this is the healer. The healer will just help you to hold yourself with gentleness and love, for your light not to go off, waiting for you to realize that you are glowing, and that you always have been glowing, and that all it's fine. And when that happens, we heal, and then we change our perception into, I got this, right? And this is what guides are for. Guides are for show us whatever we need in this journey. They are us in a different way, and they are what conspire behind these scenes for us to keep remembering who we really are underneath the illusions, the veils of illusion. So I hope that helps. And this is what happens when you meditate. You go into a sacred space where your light don't go dim and fade away. It grows bigger and bigger, at least for 15 minutes. That's why meditation should be every day, guys. And whoever is your friend or your partner or a person of your family or someone you know, and you just hold the space, not to blow up your light, but more like to keep it together, not above you or below you, but next to you. Those are the ones who we want to keep in our life, because are the ones who are teaching us the way in whatever form. And sometimes this is what a healer is. I hope that helps. Let me see if I have any other question. Yes, Binera is saying that she has like a bump in your throat. Okay, this is what I would love for you to do. And then anyone who has any throat, we could do a little bit of light language. If you guys have any Reiki healing or any knowledge of healing, you guys can just put your hands and feel if they are streaming something. But if you don't, if you're not sensitive, you can just rub them a little bit and place them into whatever part of your body you think you need some healing. You can imagine you have a ball of light. If your pain is because your twin flame hasn't shown up, because you have a lot of bills to pay, because whatever is happening with government or the collective, then you put that into your bowl. Or in a part of your body that do you think it is needed, and then make it grow and grow and grow and grow and make it stronger and stronger and stronger. And then I'm going to do a little bit of light language and just breathe and sense. What is that coming from? How does it feel? And just observe. And let's make it blue. And if you got distracted, if you lost yourself, I'm going to let the Lemurians come. Just go back to the blue and then just observe. Light language is a way where our energies peak when we are, thank you, when we are in low frequency. We don't have to understand it. It's safe. Of course it's safe. It's safe to be in love. Of course it is. It's safe to tune into love at least for a minute. Of course it is. Because we're going to ask that it will go only to whom requested and only to whom needed. Because it's kind of like the polite thing to do, and only if it will benefit the whole, okay? So just breathe and gaze at the blue. And this is Lemurian light language. Iva sahakova ki te kokova te ekikora o te oro o sava e te ishta e ki era asava e te eki era ko ashka. Greens, beloved, let's see your hands to flow into whatever part you think you need extra love that we are sharing from the temples of underneath earth in fifth dimension. This is the Lemuria Council of Light. Va ata asakore ete eki era ata ashka. Eva asakote ikiara koroba ate era kiara ava ashka. Eva asakute ekiara kutara koro ova di eser ki eshke. Vai di ezagri iti eshna aro vara atara osoro oki iti eki ashka ti era koro ova. Breathe that blue in. Hold it into your intention, the one that you will be part, that you will purify today. Ava iti esakite ekiara koro ova aki ashka. And tune into the space between what you breathe in and out. Ki ava sato okoro te a ki a ko osova te a ki ara ashke. E vea se ki eshna akoro otoro osoro ova ati e ki ara ki eshna. Breathe in and out. And gaze at the blue in your mind. Eve asi eki ata ako ova ata asa ako oto ova ata aki ashi ete eki ara koro ova ata aki ara ata ara yasha. In and out. Iva ki ita aki ara ata ara ki eshka. Now bring to your mind a part of your body that is in need of an injection of force, life force. Vi ete eki ashka. Ti esa ava eti eki ara koro ova ashna. You may see 2 or 3 parts. You may just see one. As you place your attention, go inward. Interiorize yourself. Bi ete eki ara kotoro vate aki ashka, and create the sensation that you are being injected with love, with nourishment, with tranquility, with peace. and let that light that it's blue to come in all directions, in and out. Eva, ti ese, iki ate, ikira, aki ashka. From the left to the right, above and below, in and out and in. And imagine that you can cocoon yourself and set a sacred space all around you, like a fence of light that will help you to keep your light bright and glow, so not the wine or anyone else or anything could diminish and suffocate your light. Viete ekiara koro otoro osara aki ashkete ekiara ki ashka. We would love for you to imagine that you are with us in inner earth. So if you want to do that, you can do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then imagine you are in a temple made of crystal with the elements of earth, the metallic elements, as it is a river, a body of water, of liquid metallic minerals that will pass by, providing all you physically need. You could see the earth inside and the inner side of Gaia glowing from within, as if her heart will glow. Parts of crystal, plants, animals, vegetations, beings of light, all iridescent, luminescent, because inside of earth there is no outside sun like the one you have. So if inside of earth there is no sun, we grow a sun within, and our light just glow from within. So everything you can imagine to see, it will be iridescent. It will illuminate from within. Can you create that sensation with us? As if you are a beacon of light, a lantern, a candle. Now, in the same scenario, when you wake up in the morning, imagine you are that beacon of light that effortlessly go through life, shining through on your behalf and on behalf of everyone else. And with that transmission is complete. You guys will help you to integrate with ease and grace. Go back to your chakras into a comfortable pacing and state. We remind you that through your day, when you feel like losing yourself, just glow and know how every obstacle, heaviness, struggle will just fade away, because darkness cannot exist when light is turned on. Darkness just fade away, it shrinks, and the more light expands, the more that darkness shrinks. This is what happened with your sunrise. What happened? The light is gone. It's designed that way. It cannot be in any other way, because it's part of the system that supports you. With that, we say thank you. Okay, that was good. It kind of looked like, have you seen documentaries about the fishes that glows or the plants that glow in the ocean because they could be luminescent? Kind of like when you have like a solar lamp that is just charged during the day, and then whenever it begins to dark, it just begins to glow and glow and glow. It was kind of, I think, how what they wanted to tune into, and everything we think it's real at the energy level, it really is. Oh, you feel relief? Yeah, that's good. I felt that too. Okay, Casey saying looking forward to a new book study recommendations from your guys. Use your intuition. Just go into, Casey, the ones that you vibe with the information, and then try to sense where you should go. But normally, to what we feel drawn to, that is it, even if it feels like karma, because it's what perhaps is helping us to move into a greater part of us. So from whoever you feel guided that you resonate with, just and then try to see what fits into your having someone that guide you for a part of your journey in spirituality. It was very helpful for me when I started, because we have a lot of questions, and then normally not everyone, because some people are awake the whole life always, but some of us go through dark night of the soul, and then you kind of have it in you, but then you don't know how to put things together. So when I started with Melanie Beckler back in 2014. I think she was just starting Angel Solution. She wasn't that famous. Angel Solution, it was a membership that I was paying, I think $37 when I was homeless. It was really a leap of faith, because after that, I leave my ex with $0. I had a tumor in my belly. I didn't know if I needed cancer treatment, if it could be removed. I was living in my brother's house for 8 months, and they were financing me, but I said, fuck it, I want to do it, and I think God will put the money for it. And it paying $37 when you live in pesos, it isn't the same that when you live in dollars, because it just multiplies into more expensive. And the money came. Because after I moved with my brother, I had my surgery, and then 30 weeks after, I was working, and then I was able to pay for it. Some months I wasn't able to pay for it, and then the next month I would, and then I paid for it like 3 years, I think. And she was just giving us like 4 or 5 or 6 meditations for a month. But it was all I needed. It was all I needed to awaken my gifts, and to have faith in me, and to create a different life, a life that I wasn't hating like the life I had before. And then I think in 2015, I did my Reiki attunements with another member of the same membership, like the one I have right now with my students, that we have a bunch of videos, and then we talk like once a month. It's good, not the whole time, but for a period, so you kind of put things together into a different perspective that it isn't yours, so you kind of have clarity, right? And then I did a lot of courses, all the courses I wanted. I studied with Solara Ra, I did galactic healing, and then I did channeling, and then I did pranic breathing and a bunch of courses, and then I started PNL, neuro-linguistic programming, to be a coach, like for a few months. And then I did another course of channeling from Melanie Becker, that it was a gift of one of my students. I couldn't afford it back then, and he gave it to me, and I was so happy. And then another of angel that I met into the same membership group, he always donated to me, and then he donated a course from Sandra Walters, and then I did the first Ascension course that, first of all, the first one I asked for a loan because it was $4,400 that I couldn't afford because I was earning $100 a month, right? It was like barely surviving. But I wanted to because I listened to her, and she was like so practical, and I so resonated with you that I said, I want to be like that. And then I admire her. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to get a loan and then I'm going to pay for it. And I did. And that first course, that it was all about higher self, and it was all about you, right? And it was all about being responsible from your own spirituality, not just meditating, but what am I going to do today to be happy? What am I going to do today to learn? What am I going to do today? So I shift. When I started with higher self, I think in 2015, everything blew up into a very accelerated journey. I started seeing beings all over. I started drawing them. I didn't know what's happening to me. It was like a dark inside of the soul. That year, that course, Ascension course path with Sandra Walters, I was being hidden. Like every month, it was like a new thing. 1 month, I was going to be evicted by paying the rent because who rented the house had some problems. So she said, you have to leave now. And I was just like, oh, it's December. What am I going to do? It's holiday, right? A lot of things from work, a lot of things out of the blue, secrets from my family, things I didn't know that suddenly I knew. It was like every month it was a test. It was a test, and it was a test, and it was a test. And then I understood that I needed, because I was kind of like divine intervention for me to do something more helpful. And then in the next year, someone donated to me. I was already starting doing drawings and for my friends. I started doing them for me because I was saying, hey, you guys, I'm seeing this being. Do you know who it is? It kind of has like a bird thing. And then someone was saying, oh, that's the blue aliens. And I was like, who are them? Will someone tell them? And then they would send me a video, and I was like, oh, yes, they are. And then it was why I started drawing. And then I'm seeing the signs. Someone knows what this is. And then they were saying, oh, this is Pleiadian information from chip to chip. And I was like, oh, Pleiadian? Oh, right? And then someone says, you are a starseed. And I was like, oh, are you sure? I just think I'm an old soul. No, you are a starseed. And I was like, oh, right, I'm a starseed. And then I realized that some of my angels had like almond eyes. And I was like, what's happened with that alien? With that angel? It just kind of looked weird. So life took me into this path. I never expected. I never wanted. I didn't want people to see what was happening to me. I was scared of it. I thought I was being judged. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be on YouTube right here. It was not my dream. I just wanted to have a good job, dental plan, insurance, good money. That's it. And that's it. But then all of those unexpected things pushed me into, and then financially, I wasn't making it either. And then when I was going to be evicted, I said, well, maybe I could do Reiki and ask for donations, right? I didn't want to do Reiki on people because I was having all the entities in me. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do Reiki because I keep all the entities with me. So it was like very draining. But then because I was going to be in the street, then I said, hey, I know how to do Reiki, and then I purchased cards, and then I said, and I know how to do cards. So whoever wanted, just donate whatever, because I'm going to be evicted and I need this amount of money. And I never did cards on anyone, but I just risked it because I had no choice, because I was going to be living in the streets, right? So I did it, and it was how I started doing readings. And then some liked them and they wanted another reading, and then another Reiki, and then they recommend me with other people, and it was how I started. And then at some point my friends said, hey, you have to have your page. And I was like, but I'm happy right here. Let's just have it off, right, where no one knows. but but they wanted drawings, and then I was saying, okay, this is your guide, can you draw it for me, and I can donate it $20. Yes, I can draw it for you. And then it was how life took me. And then my guys insisted that I need to open a page, and then everyone says you have to open a page, and I was like, oh, I don't want to open a page. But you should, because you are doing a lot of work. And then one person I remember that said, you're being selfish because you don't want to share what you are going through, and you don't know how many people is going through the same light language thing, and you are not kind of like belong with those person. And I was like, that kind of triggered something in me. So I said, okay, I didn't think about it. Whatever name came through, it was just like, yeah, that's it. I opened the page and then I started publishing, but the page was my diary. And then people said, you have good service, Gretel, because you are doing this very informal. You don't even have a website. And I was like, do I need a website? I mean, aren't happy right here? So the page kind of leveled me up. And then people begin telling me, you cannot ask for donations anymore. You just set a price, because then I don't know how much it will be fair for you. And then I was like, oh, okay, I will just charge for it, right? So life took me. And then when I did the first course, it was because so many people was asking about light codes and light codes. They say, okay, I'm going to do a course. So I share whatever I know. So people I could just say, well, I just did this course. Maybe it will help you, right? In the practicality of my Virgo. And then I just said, I'm going to put it very affordable because I have never done a course before. And then it was like $4 weekly or something. And then 44 people subscribed, and I was like, oh, they subscribed. Oh, what am I gonna do? I was scared. I freaked out because I just threw myself into the pool, but I didn't know if I was going to know how to swim or just drain. So I went through, and they were very patient with me, like, hey, Gretel, your spelling, your English, whatever. And then one of my friends says, hey, I do music. Why I don't do the music for you, and then I can help you with the meditation things, so you use your YouTube channel. Because I was using Google Drive to send them the material, and it's very complicated because not everyone had Google. And then I realized that I already had like people subscribe to my channel, and I wasn't doing anything. I would just had playlists for whom I would follow. So we did that. He helped me out, who is Frederick from Sounds and Light, the one who I keep purchasing. So the first meditations, I said, okay, good, but I'm not gonna be on YouTube. I don't want people to see me. And he said, good, we just can put your drawings. And I was like, okay. So he would send me those meditations that are the ones that are most sent, and I would just put upload, right? And then YouTube grow. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna do now, right? And then the page grow, and then it grow, and then it grow, and then it grow. And then I just show up. And then I was brave enough to be seen, even though the first videos, if you guys go back into the live stream, I was very scared. And then my friend said, you don't look scared. And I'm like, but I'm terrified. The first live I did, I had diarrhea after, because I was so nervous to be seen. This isn't easy, guys. especially because you put yourself, people judge you and say a lot of things. The majority of the time, people like me. But sometimes you have haters, and it's part of the thing. It's part of being here. Especially doing light language, especially doing galactic stuff. It will be easier if I will do affirmations, law of attraction, Reiki, things that normal people accept, angels. But I went into the extreme. And I love it. I love it because I learned to accept me and my awareness, me and my spirituality, and it doesn't matter if I have one person or no one seeing me. I'm doing because of me. Because I need this, because I love it, because it's my life. If you guys love it, then it's good because we kind of high five together like, ooh, right? But if you don't, I will still do it because I understand myself through what comes through, and then every advice I give is for me too. And then we resonate, and then we see each other, and then we hold hands, and then we go together. And this is what spirituality is. If I am Arcturian or not, it does matter. If you have a lot of likes or not, does that matter? I mean, would that make me more spiritual or not? If I know what will happen next year and you don't, because I know numerology and I know this and you don't, and you are wrong, is that really matter? So with that, I'm gonna close right here. If you wanna be a server and be a light worker in whatever way, do it because you wanted to figure out your life, because you like it, because it feels good for you, because you like to give like I am. And then if people like you because you have something to, if you have something to give, guys said, you will always have someone to want to receive it. But a lot of things in between are not that important because it takes us away from the truthness of spirituality and put us into the ego about, I know more than you, you know less than me, I'm older than you, you're newer than me. And this is not about it. It's about community. If we don't really learn to support each other, guys, it will feel just struggle. Thank you so much. It will feel struggle because Earth is changing. Like me, encoded frequency flow, and I wasn't ready for it. And I was like, oh. And then my friends, one friend said to me once, why do you have 4,000 followers? I just have one and I'm doing this for 20 years, Gretel. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And then my friend says, you have spelling errors. You don't even speak good English. Why do you have 6,000 followers? I was like, I don't know. But I said, okay, I need someone to assist me. So I have 4 angels that help me to translate. And now I'm paying someone who helps me to translate what I do. Because my brains put things in a different order. Because it makes me more creative. So be it, right? I do my best, but I'm a normal, like one each of you. So be more and think less in spirituality in your life. That's, I think, what will end today. What will happen will happen. But today, what I want to do for me, after this, I'm going to go and get pizza with my kids. Because it's Friday. And we're going to watch a movie. We're watching Alice in Wonderland yesterday. And it was good because I bonded with them. And today, because it's Friday, we're going to get pizza. And I'm not going to care about the carbs and stuff like that. I'm just going to enjoy it. And then we're going to get a movie. And then it's raining. So probably it will be good for some hot Coca-Cola, being in bed, and then just chilling out. And at the end of the day, this is what matters in life. Doing things that uplift us with people that help us to have our light shining bright. So if you can do something for yourself today that makes you feel loved and cozy and that always right, go for it. Thank you so much for being here. All of those stars and likes help me because social media really changed its own algorithm, right? So if you like to support me, which I appreciate it, like and share, comment. Your donations also help. Same with the post. Don't do it with me only, do it with everyone else that you like. So the ones who do astrology, we keep seeing them, the ones who are selling things, so we can support each other through this and do your best. Another thing that I was going to say is take care of yourself, of your body, into whatever way that feels good. Meditation daily, going around, whatever works hard for you. And thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.